This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today, tonight, tomorrow, whenever this video goes up. Because, well, let's go Pirates. But, maybe not. We had a rough game. We had a rough game there in our first game of our skins tournament. 1-1 skin. You know what? This is a team that went out and beat us in the A final last tournament here in town. So we did okay. We went and got a skin. I personally went out there, batted right-handed a couple of times, got a couple base hits, but more importantly, what I did was I took a swing lefty and hacked one to left center, so good on me. Now that's aside, bragging about that, we have to talk some Edmonton Oilers. You don't want to sit here and listen to me talk about my slow pitch adventures in small town Alberta. I mean, they're interesting. I can 100% keep you entertained all night, but let's get to it. I saw somewhere out there in Oilers land, there's an article on Joseph Gambardella not being accounted out as an Edmonton Oiler for the 2019-2020 season. I've been saying this before free agency, as free agency all hit. Literally, there's about 13 to 15 guys competing for the bottom six role. Depends on how you view the James Neal situation, trade for Lucic, what have you. We sit now with two guys who were, at times, honestly, at times, very, very bright spots, okay? These were great stories, bright spots, doing some stuff for us that in a dull season made us have some life, some, hey, it's not all bad. Hockey's about the stories. And that's both in Joseph Gambardella, Joe Gambardella, whatever you want to call him, and Josh Currie. Josh Currie, you guys know the story there. You know the story of Joe Gambardella as well. And both great stories. But we sit here now wondering, going into next year, going into training camp, going in that they have some games of experience. They've played with the Oilers, very different Oilers team, might I add. Even if they start in the starting lineup on the game to open the season against the Vancouver Canucks, they will count as different players than the opening night roster in Sweden against the Devils. That's 8 different players, guys. 8 different players in the 4 lines and 13 and 14th forward. That's the fun part that is our Edmonton Oilers headed into 2019-2020. That, again, like my soft pitch, slow pitch, whatever it is, stuff aside, let's get into a little bit about why you can't count out Josh Currie and Joseph Gambardella as guys who should compete for NHL time. Joseph Gambardella, the book on him is 15 games played, 3 assists, 2 penalty minutes. So, I mean, for the Oilers, let's think about the bottom 6. Let's think about a guy like Lucic. 15 games played, 2 penalty minutes in a bottom 6 role, 3 even strength assists, 7 shots. So, I mean, Joseph Gambardella got to find more time to shoot, but I'll get to that point in a second. And 8 minutes and 6 seconds average on ice per game. That in itself right there is where he needs to find more ice time. Now, in an ideal world where Ken Hitchcock isn't playing Connor McDavid 24 minutes a night, we should see Joseph Gambardella, even if he makes the Edmonton Oilers, be able to play 10 to 11 minutes a night. Especially if you kind of counteract what the Edmonton Oilers special team is going to look like, right? If you've got Josh Archibald, if you've got Marcus Granlund in there doing work on the penalty kill as 2 separate units, those guys are going to be spent out more often than not. I'd say it's still the Oilers. We can't pretend that they're not going to take dumb penalties. We can't pretend that we're not going to get burnt up on the penalty kill. You know how it goes. That's the one area I'm still leery about because all factors factor in there. But that's where a guy, if he's in the lineup, right? I don't know if Joseph Gambardella is going to be a 3rd line guy, 4th line guy, 13th forward, or 14th forward. But if Joseph Gambardella is in there, in the lineup on any given night, he's a guy who can sit there, even strength, and go out there and give you time, quality time. And the reason I like Gambardella so much is, seriously, the guy, I don't know if he's having just so much fun playing hockey out there that it's contagious, or the fact that he just brings the pace. No matter if he's having fun or not, he just brings the pace, and it's great to watch him hustle out there and get the job going. And that's the thing, guys. Maybe that's a tainted view because so often last year we didn't see the Oilers hustle and heart it out, right? no heart and hustle, however you say it, you get what I'm getting at. But it was so hard to see that most nights out of the Oilers, that seeing that out of Joseph Gambardella, especially as a rookie in the NHL, the great story, 25 years old, from Staten Island, New York. Well, it was just absolutely fantastic to see him do that several games in, games out. Well, in 8 minutes, 6 seconds on the ice, in less pivotal moment, well, how special is it really? Yeah, it is what it is. Don't forget, he did play a couple games, I believe, with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. That's where a few of his assists went, if I'm not mistaken. So, right there, you know what? He has an ability to play with the star players, and especially if you're that 13th, 14th forward and you've got 3 lines rolling and you lose a player on one line, that's essentially where you're going. Unless the coach really needs to shake things up post-injury. But, I mean, Dave Tippett should, if anybody in the NHL, know the Oilers' last thing they need to do is shuffle lines every 6 seconds next year. If you want to keep your job, Todd McLellan couldn't keep his job, Ken Hitchcock couldn't keep his job, shuffling the lines every 5 seconds. Well, guess what? Dave Tippett, your MO, defensive systems, and don't shuffle the lines every time a puck gets dropped. Just don't do it. So, Gambardella could definitely benefit in that situation. Now, mind you, he has to go out there in camp and absolutely earn it. Don't get me wrong. But the reason is, he's a guy who's been in the lineup, knows what it takes, and knows how much more competition there is this year. And if Gambardella raised the bar for Oilers fans' expectations out of him, just based on 8 minutes and 6 seconds on the ice, he's got more to give, in my opinion. And I'd be interested to see if he can do it at camp. And that's exactly why I think if you read that article, I didn't read it, but I'm pretty sure that would be what they argue, is you can't count him out because the guy is going to heart and hustle his way onto a team spot, if at all possible. Now, moving on to Josh Currie. Guys, this one's an even more fun one. Josh Currie played 21 games for us. Guys, excuse me? Josh Currie played 21 games? Man, those games must have been a lot rougher than I remember, because I must have tuned out of a lot of them or something. 21 games for Josh Currie. It didn't feel like that many. I'm not trying to make light of him. I'm not trying to do anything. It just, the end of the season was a blur. For so long we were chasing 5, 7, 3, 1 point out of a playoff spot, whatever it was, at any given time from February 1st to about March 20th. But Josh Currie was in there for a lot of that run. And, I mean, he found himself playing all kinds of different minutes in the Oilers lineup. He averaged about 8 minutes and 43 seconds on the ice, 2 goals, 3 assists, only, 2 penalty minutes again. See, key, bottom 6, don't take penalties. You're good. You're good. You'll play more if you don't take penalties. And he had 19 shots. So that was the big thing for Josh Currie, is he was out there shooting almost a shot a game, unlike Joseph Gambardella. So that's again. Josh Currie, guys, he was fun. He was electric. Guys, Josh Currie was a pleasure to watch for those 21 games, I guess it was. Like I said, memory's shady at best, but it is what it is. So Josh Currie was a blast, and I think similar to Gambardella being the fun factor, he'll bring that, but the other side of Josh Currie is you saw at times a guy who is ready to make an impact in a bottom 6, mid 6 role if he gets lucky enough for it. And that is something, again, similar to Gambardella, that fuels you to be that heart and hustle, that beat out everybody because you want to try harder. Beat out everybody because you do everything more right than anyone else, if you get where I'm going. And that's essentially, I guess, what I should just be straight flat across arguing for these two guys. You can't count them out, because if they want it, throughout their careers, they've proven they can get it. That's essentially their argument here. If they want to be Edmonton Oilers and they come to camp, heart, hustle, and a little bit of luck, it'll all happen. And that's 3 factors with the Oilers this upcoming season I don't think anyone's taking into account. If the Oilers play with heart, if the Oilers hustle, and they get a little bit of luck, it's going to take a little bit of luck. Don't kid yourself. I know it will. But if you get those 3 factors, that is why I'm not so keen on being called delusional when it comes to the Oilers being in the playoffs next season. Long shot, call it what you will, heart, hustle, and a little bit of luck. That's all it takes in the NHL. Guys, I'm Tyson, this Dolynny TV. I don't know if I made a clear point. I think I wasted 8 minutes and then I got here to the last 2 minutes and made my point. Either way, guys, have a happy Friday night. Saturday morning, we'll get you going sometime Saturday evening before I head off for midnight tacos over at the team captain's house. Again, Skull Pirates. And I will catch you guys in the next one.